we are getting ready to do something about it.
Ask your questions.
What Douglas want to do? Be a Satan and judging.
Speak your mind.
Good evening to you, Patches, and good evening to your listeners home and abroad. One good term deserves another. And like I said, one good term deserves another.
Tune in every Monday and Thursday night from 8 until 10 p.m. right here on ZIZ Radio with your host, Ian Patches Liburd, for Straight Talk.
For the morning light, giving thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night, for the rest of food and loving care, and for my mother's breath of life that's got me here. So whatever my mind can see that I will achieve, you better believe. Cause I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the best I could. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on, till I reach the top somehow.
Oh yes, my Straight Talk family, when you hear that music, you know it's time for another edition of Straight Talk, and time for me to bid you a very pleasant night wherever you are in St. Kitts and Nevis and all throughout the entire Caribbean region. To my Straight Talk family in the Kittitian and Nevision diaspora, I say greetings to all who are logged on to zizonline.com. We normally simulcast as well via Sugar City FM St. Kitts. But I know that some of you are in Africa, there's some of you in Asia, there are some of you in Europe, and there are a whole lot of you all over North America. So I'm at liberty to say good night. I can say good morning, and in some cases I can say good night. Because Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, you do have a forum to express yourselves freely. Let's, in the process, continue to keep St. Kitts and Nevis as one of the freest countries in the entire world. On this program, we try to raise the level of national consciousness. We try to raise the level of national discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. And if you are joining me for the first time, we normally have first-time listeners, and I want to welcome you if you are a first-timer, and just to inform you that we give you an opportunity to take part in the program, because it is a participative program, as I normally say. By that I mean we entertain your calls, we entertain your emails, and as I said, we do have an opportunity to call. If you are so minded to call, then the number is 465-2555 and or 718-577-2916. There are some people who do not want to be heard for some reason or other, and we give you access via our email platform, and that address is ZIZ Straight Talk ziztraighttt@gmail.com. That's ziztraighttt@gmail.com. If you're so minded to call, because as I said, it's a program we try to raise the national consciousness, try to entertain national discourse. We alert our people in the process to their rights and certainly to their responsibilities. And just to inform you, because quite a lot of people have been inquiring as to the election petition that I brought forth or took to the court to ensure that we put right the wrong that happened on June the 5th. And lots of people have been inquiring, but in fact the learned judge, Justice Trevor Ward, in fact some weeks ago had set the date down for September 17th, which is Thursday. So there was no case today has been inquired, as most people have inquired about. So that's on Thursday, that's Thursday coming, God's willing, that election petition would go before Justice Trevor Ward, the QC. Hopefully, just in hope he will entertain the hearing or conduct the hearing, I should say, of that particular election petition, where we have questioned the outturn of the results there in constituency number 1. My Straight Talk family, tonight I intend to, with your indulgence of course, to continue our national dialogue. And of course, in a few days from now, on Saturday 19th of September to be exact, we will be celebrating the 37th anniversary of the Kittitian and Nivision Federation. And my Straight Talk family, it is said that St. Kitts and Nevis is one of, or the rather smallest sovereign state in the Western Hemisphere. And these two islands and one beautiful paradise were among the first of the Caribbean islands to be settled by Europeans, with the island of St. Kitts being the first home to both English and French colonies in the Caribbean, or rather I should say the first island to be settled by the British and French and earn the accolade to it, the mother of the mother colony of the West Indies. Equally important and of historical importance, I should say, Alexander Hamilton, who was one of the founding fathers of the great United States of America, was born and spent part of his childhood in Charlestown, Nevis. As we embark on this year's anniversary, however, a familiar debate has emerged about the relationship between St. Kitts and Nevis, the relationship or interrelationship between St. Kitts and Nevis. Truth be told, whenever I hear this St. Kitts Nevis debate and the discussion ensues about whose father was born in Nevis and mother born in St. Kitts or vice versa, my Straight Dog family, I find myself between, or rather torn between two islands. And this is so because my grandfather, George Liburd, who was one of the best boat builders Nevis ever produced, I'm told, was born in Gingerland, but later journeyed across the shark-infested Narrows to earn a living right here in St. Kitts. My grandfather, who was the government shipwright up until he transitioned this earth in 1958, met his wife Eunice Proctor Taylor from Cairn. Then they settled on the Bay Road in Newtown, where I was born, to his daughter Bronte Liburd. So when I say I am torn between two islands, it's because I believe that I am a Nevis man born in St. Kitts. Oops, I can hear your long shoops. But ask anyone, and they would agree that all the Liburds come from Nevis. So I can relate to these sentiments expressed by my Newtown elder Clark, who had this to say, the Straight Dog family.
All of a sudden, whenever a politician arise in Nevis and want to gain power, they start bringing up hatred about St. Kitts people. But if you look at the structure of St. Kitts population, you would see that St. Kitts population is 90% Nevisians. The people in St. Paul hail from Nevis. The people from Detway hail from Nevis. The people from up the village hail from Nevis. The people from Newtown hail from Nevis. And if you search all the villages and towns in St. Kitts, you see tonload of Nevisians. So why should they keep separating Nevisians and Kittitians when they got in the same blood? And they must stop it. St. Kitts people and Nevisians are one. I am married to a Nevisian. My mother was a Nevisian. My grandfather was a Nevisian. And I'm sure that you have somebody around from Nevis too. So why do I try to separate us? We are one people.
Yes, I agree we are one people. As Tracy said, all Liburds are related. But I cannot verify, though, the 90% distribution of the population. But like I said, I'm a Nevisian born in St. Kitts, and I know, and I very well believe, that we are one people. St. Kitts and Nevis have one of the longest written histories in the Caribbean. And though we are just 2 miles apart and very small in size, we were once widely recognized as being separate entities with distinct identities, until the islands were forcibly united in the late 19th century. There was a federation of the Leeward Islands colony in 1871. Then in 1883, the governments of St. Kitts, Nevis, and Anguilla were combined into the St. Kitts Assembly. The islands remained in the Leeward Islands Federation until they joined the failed West Indies Federation from 1958 to 1962, in which St. Kitts, Nevis, and Anguilla was a separate state. Robert Bradshaw, some may recall, was the Minister of Finance for the short-lived federation. Years later, in 1967, Britain granted associated status to St. Kitts, Nevis, and Anguilla, and immediately Anguilla seceded, my Straight Dog family.
As we press forward, late January of 1967, the date for associated status was on the 27th of February 1967. As a result of our push, organizing the people and keeping meetings, the British sent out a man called Johnson to try to persuade Anguilla we to go along with statehood. As a result of Johnson coming to Anguilla, and let me say here that I, John Rogers, delivered that letter in protest to Johnson. Bradshaw and his Minister of Education, Fitzroy Bryant, came to Anguilla, kept a series of meetings, and we rejected all what he said. As a result of that, late January, a man called Arthur Bottomley and the Deputy Prime Minister Paul Southwell came to Anguilla, and we rejected their proposal. As a result of that, the late Billy Hobart and the elected representative of Anguilla, Peter Emmanuel Adams, went back to London to see if they could renegotiate a better arrangement, because in that constitution there was local government for Nevis and there was local government for Anguilla. There was no local government for the central government, and there were sections in that constitution which had given the Premier the power to null council either in Nevis or in Anguilla.
Years later, in 1967, Britain granted associated status to St. Kitts, Nevis and Anguilla, as I said before. But Nevis also threatened to secede at any time, but Bradshaw remained committed to a unitary state. Opposition grew in Nevis as it was felt that the island was being neglected and unfairly deprived of revenue, investment and services by St. Kitts. Bradshaw ignored the complaints from Nevis. Bradshaw remained a strong advocate of independence for the state of St. Kitts, Nevis and Anguilla. And when the Labour Party won all the seats in St. Kitts in December 1975, he engaged in independence talks with London in 1976 and in 1977. My Straight Talk family.
On independence for this state will begin in London on 2nd March 1976 between ourselves and Her Majesty's government. Needless to say, independence, whether as a condition of fact or of mind or of concept, carries a meaning that is inherent in itself. Briefly, independence means being on your own. To be independent means that you're neither dependent upon nor subordinated to anyone. Thus, as we approach the independence which we have freely and deliberately decreed for ourselves, let us be no doubt at all about that which we shall embark upon. For manna will not fall from heaven just like that. Let us face it, knowing that it will demand of us hard work, patriotism, dedication, denial, objectivity, unity, and self-respect. And we must continue to be seen actively to be helping ourselves. Therefore, on this propitious day, let us all as brothers and sisters link arms together and deliberately say, out statehood, in independence.
However, in 1978, Bradshaw died and was succeeded by his deputy Paul Southwell, who himself died in 1979 under mysterious circumstances in St. Lucia. As a consequence, the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party was plunged into a leadership crisis, but eventually Limor succeeded Southwell as leader and premier. In any event, many Labour supporters remained suspicious about Southwell's death, and many chose to vote for the People's Action Movement in the 1980 general elections. The division disenchantment with the Labour Party also proved to be a key factor in the party's eventual fall from power. The People's Action Movement therefore benefited from the confusion in the Labour Party and was successful for the first time in the 1980 elections. PAM won 3 seats on St. Kitts, whereas Labour won 4 seats. The Nevis Reformation Party under Simeon Daniel won 2 of the 3 seats on Nevis. PAM and NRP then formed a coalition government and Kennedy Simmons was named premier. The change in government reduced the demand for Nevis's secession. 2 years later, Premier Simmons made this announcement in the Parliament. My Straight Talk family. This is what Simmons said about independence.
In December of 1979, a conference was held in London at which it was decided that St. Kitts and Nevis would proceed to independence in 1980 and that there would be a referendum 18 months after independence in which the issue of secession for Nevis would be put to the vote. I note, Mr. Speaker, that even though a decision had already been taken about proceeding to independence in 1980, the people of this country were presented with no constitutional proposals, nor was the matter of Anguilla's separation finally settled, nor was the concurrence of Nevis obtained for the independence decision. When, therefore, Mr. Speaker, in February of 1980, the people participated in a general election, the issue was not whether the country would become independent, but when and how. Would it be under circumstances in which the people of both islands had no concept of the constitutional provisions, or in which Nevis was dragged into independence protestingly like an unwilling bride to the altar? No, Mr. Speaker. The election of 1980 determined that the country would become independent after, not before, Mr. Speaker, after the people of this country would have had the opportunity to study constitutional proposals and offer comments and suggestions.
In 1983, the Federation was granted independence from Britain, with a constitution that granted Nevis a large degree of autonomy, as well as the guaranteed right of secession. 1983 Constitution gave St. Kitts Nevis legislative independence from the United Kingdom. In 1976, the Anguillans began to be governed under a new constitution. Anguilla, we know by now, seceded, and Nevis agreed to the existing conditions in our constitution, which allows Nevis to secede, as I said, once certain requirements are met. The 1976 Constitution recognized Anguilla to be still a part of the associated state of St. Kitts, Nevis, and Anguilla. However, Anguilla was to be separately administered by Britain until such a time as the constitutional crisis between Anguilla and the rest of the state could be resolved. In February 1980, the St. Kitts Labour Party administration of Liburd was defeated, as earlier intimated, and the new Premier, Dr. Kennedy Simmons, made it clear that his administration would have no objection or would put no obstacle in the way of change in Anguilla, and the Anguillans should be free to decide their own constitutional future. This resulted in the Anguilla Act of 1980, which empowered Her Majesty to separate Anguilla from the state on a day appointed by order in council. The relationship between St. Kitts and Nevis saw significant improvements under a PAM-NRP coalition government in 1980. My straight talk family.
What life was like in Nevis in those days, you know. We had pipes but no water. Some who had telephones, you had instruments, and you didn't know if you would get a call. And there were very few instruments in the village where I grew up in Zion. You had electricity off and on. We had roads, but sometimes you had more holes than actual roads. And when you wanted a top job, you had to go to St. Kitts. Whole set of divisions ended up in St. Kitts. But come self-government in Nevis after 1980, when we joined with the PAM to form the government, the people of Nevis saw a totally different Nevis. Own government, own ministers, roads, water, electricity, jobs, good paying jobs for people at home, and the sixth form college, which has had a profound effect on the lives of Nevisians. No longer were we sending 4 students to St. Kitts to go to the sixth form in St. Kitts. Nowadays, we have more than 100 going to sixth form in Nevis. All of those because we joined up with PAM in 1980.
Yes, that was a change. But when the Douglas regime came to office in 1995, 15 years of improvement in Nevis was suddenly reversed. It got so bad, my straight dog family, so bad it got that in April 2014, the Dundell Douglas administration orchestrated with the National Bank to bounce the NIA check, my straight dog family. So sad.
My fellow citizens, my fellow Nevisians, I wish on behalf of the Nevis Island administration to apologize to the Nevis public servants for the inconvenience caused today when they did not get their salaries as expected. This source of embarrassment to the NIA and the people of Nevis generally, must never be allowed to happen again. The National Bank, our creditors, have agreed to honor the checks of the Nevis Island administration and to pay the salaries for the month of April. The situation, therefore, has been temporarily resolved, but it's my hope, my fervent hope, that we shall be able to have a permanent resolution to the financial arrangements with the National Bank as soon as we're able to meet after Friday, the 25th of April.
But what Douglas, by his actions, said to the civil servants and the extended families, or in fact to all Nevisians, no more rice or soup for Nevis, but he wanted them to go begging for bread. Then came Team Unity in 2015, and things have never been better, my Straight Dog family. The footprint of Team Unity can now be seen all over Nevis.
Under Team Unity, ladies and gentlemen, under Team Unity, the relationship between St. Kitts and Nevis has never been better. It has never been better because since Team Unity, we have seen Team Unity footprint across the entire landscape of Nevis. We have seen it at our new Treasury building in Charlestown. We have seen it at our hospital rehabilitation and expansion project. We have seen it in our tender pier expansion. We have seen it in the government house rehabilitation project. We have seen it in the expansion of the abattoir and the vet clinic. We have seen it in the Handley's Road rehabilitation project. We have seen it in the Uwali taxi pier. And I can go on and on and on, ladies and gentlemen. And that is why we of the CCM, we are sticking with PLP and we are sticking with Team Unity.
Nowhere to go. But there has been some recent rumblings that may want to suggest otherwise. So what has changed? Political differences don't necessarily hurt a relationship, according to clinical psychologist Suzanne Heitler, PhD, and author of The Power of Two, Secrets of a Strong and Loving Marriage. It depends on how strong the relationship is to begin with. If you put political differences into an unnourished partnership, the strain can be big, opined Dr. Heitler. I submit that the majority of Nevisians and Kittitians would agree that the relationship between our islands has been well nourished. While many may refer to the Charlestown Accord and what it does and does not include, we ought to be reminded as well of the National Unity Agreement as revised as at 27th April 2013. The theme of that agreement, which preceded the Accord, was people-centered governance. And one thing that cannot be disputed, though, is the fact that the Accord was designed on a foundation on which the tri-party Team Unity government was built. On that historic day, on the 17th December 2014, it was clearly indicated that Team Unity believed that the people of St. Kitts and Nevis deserved a federal government of national unity, and that it was what the people said. It came from the people, we must remind you, and not from the politicians. And of paramount importance in all the things committed to in the Charlestown Accord is one thing, my Straight Dog family. That is a federal government which will restore adherence to the Constitution of St. Kitts and Nevis, my Straight Dog family.
Team Unity believes that the people of St. Kitts and Nevis deserve a federal government of national unity, deserve a federal government committed to the restoration of law and order and the supremacy of the rule of law, deserve a federal government which will restore adherence to the Constitution of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yes, my Straight Dog family, one does not have to be a constitutional scholar to read and to understand the content of the order made by Her Majesty the Queen in March 1983 upon advice of the Privy Council and by resolution of the National Assembly requesting and consenting to same. One does not have to be a constitutional scholar to read and understand the protection of our fundamental rights and freedoms enshrined in the 1983 Constitution, also what it says about sharing or, for that matter, fair share. With respect to the latter, all is required is common sense and the ability to read and understand the content of Section 110 of the Constitution, also SRO 46 of 1983. So what do? We must either adhere to the Constitution or amend the Constitution, because it is the supreme law of the land. The 37th Independence theme, Resilience, Innovation and Security for Independence 2020, was appropriately addressed by Pastor Adams during his biblical, thought-provoking independence sermon yesterday, Sunday the 13th of September at the Warner Park Cricket Stadium, my Straight Talk family.
Our theme begs the question as to how resilient, how innovative, how secure we are as a small developing nation. Nations are resilient if they can withstand and recover, or as we say in colloquial terms, bounce back from shocks, death, job loss, natural disasters such as hurricanes and earthquakes or pandemics of the one that we are facing right now. Innovativeness speaks to one's ability to adjust, to adapt, to do things differently, to find another way. Security has to do with the safety and protection of the citizenry, our sovereignty, our assets, our infrastructure and institutions, and to promote a favorable international environment, because we live in an increasingly interconnected and complex and very dangerous world. As I labored with the theme, I saw a tension between our isness versus our oughtness.
Yes, our isness versus our oughtness. Diversity is the many differences that different backgrounds hold. Within those backgrounds are differences to make and improve people. As we celebrate our 37th birthday as a nation, we should celebrate the differences and learn to work together. With God, all things are possible, my Straight Talk family.
When God delivers, whether it be a nation or individuals or families, when God delivers completely. And God gives them more and more blessings for their faith. There is a place for God and religion in the nation. There is a place for God and religion. The best defense of a nation in times of peril is prayer and piety and humility before God. The duty and advantage of kings and peoples standing shoulder together when their safety is threatened. We have got to come together. Unity, therein lies our strength. Whether you're in government or the opposition, wherever you are, we've got to come together. For united we stand, and divided we will fall. Happy independence, everybody.
Yes, happy independence to you as well. We would all agree that we have a strong government led by an astute Prime Minister, my Straight Talk family.
With the single exceptions of the Bahamas and more recently Panama, St. Kitts and Nevis is now ranked third in per capita income among Western Hemispheric states. I note that on August 18th, 2020 of this year, updated data from the World Bank shows that St. Kitts and Nevis now has a higher per capita income than our oil-rich friends in Trinidad and Tobago. This is of paramount importance. We have no known pool of petroleum reserves. We have neither gold nor bauxite. What we do have, by contrast, is a strong government which at the very outset established and pursued a prosperity agenda that has been successful so far in holding the line on taxes, fostering a growth in foreign direct investment. We have also adopted a sound fiscal policy of living within our means, maintaining our unconscionably high outstanding debt and reducing it from what was really an unconscionably high 180% of GDP to a more manageable and impressive 57% of gross domestic product. This reduction of our outstanding public debt now frees up badly needed funds for meeting basic human needs, including the current pandemic that we're currently going through.
That's the words or the views of OAS Ambassador, Division-born Dr. Everson Hull. We do have a strong government. And Prime Minister Harris understands how to ensure that we live within our means and how to save for a rainy day by Straight Talk family. That's what Harris knows best.
We decided that we will set aside something always for the rainy day. Whatever were the temptations, we exercise restraint. And that has allowed us to do what Antigua cannot do today. That has allowed us to do that which St. Lucia has said it cannot do. Wise, prudent fiscal management. That is what we have been able to.
Yes, my Straight Talk family. As we continue our national dialogue, we would be naive to believe that different people would not have different views. So I submit that when all else fails, then we must go to the Constitution. That is my humble view. But you are entitled to your view, as everyone is here on Straight Talk. But as we build resilience, become more innovative, and enhance our security for Independence 2020, especially in these unprecedented times, there are some questions that arise. 1. Can we bounce back from this deadly pandemic? 2. What can we do differently in order to survive? And 3. Are we safe and secure after 37 years of independence under your Team Unity government? You may have your own concerns and your own comments. I'll open the lines and entertain your calls and or your emails. And again, if you're so minded to call, the numbers are 465-2555. That's one number, I should say, with 3 lines accessible. Or 718-577-2916. If you are so minded to email, the email address is zizstraighttalk@gmail.com. I must implore you, though, before I open the lines, which I do in just a few seconds, that I anticipate that you will respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let's just try to be fair to all concerned. Let's just try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let's just make sure the things you say and or do will be beneficial to all concerned. Let's just ensure that in all we say and or do, we will strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. With that said, at 20 before 9 o'clock, we go to the lines and say, caller, you're live.
Hi, most pleasant good night, Mr. Liburd. How are you doing?
I am peaceful, my dear. Pleasant night as well. Sounds like my warrior from the east.
Yes, in St. Thomas.
Got you, love.
Anyway, let me take this opportunity tonight to wish the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis a happy 37 happy brother Independence Day when it comes. I'd also like to say to the Prime Minister of St. Kitts, the Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Timothy Harris, and his team to continue doing what they're doing, keep up the good work. We all are one. I like to say my 4 grandparents is from Nevis and my father is from Nevis. My father was from Butlers, Darrell Busso, the Fifer. My mother was from Hickman Village, Mary Didi. She named Marian Neal. My father was from Brown Hill, Ivan Brown. And my mother was from Market Shop, Gingerland, Nevis. I have an uncle living in Clegot named Egbert Clark. He's a contractor. And my father was born in Hickman Village, Nevis, Busso, the taxi driver. So 85% of me are Nevision. So we're going to remain one and we're going to stay unity together. May the Lord bless the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis Let the Lord continue to keep us and to continue to keep the CMO, Miss Laws, Mr. Samuel, Mr. Wilkerson, and the entire team, Mr. Williams, everybody under his blood. Continue to keep up the good work. You all, please, let us stay as one. Let me take this opportunity to all to say, birthday greeting in advance goes out to my granddaughter, mother, Martina Richardson, known to us as Dolly at Buckley's Estate. Martina, birthday greetings when it comes to you on Saturday the 19th. Continue to do a good job for my granddaughter. Continue to be the mother that you are. Also, let me say birthday greeting in advance to my son, Kwame, who will be celebrating on the 18th. Kwame, I know you're all the way in Vegas. You cannot hear me, but Mommy love you. Your daddy, Eric Williams, love you, and everybody love you. Your kids, everybody love you. Let me take this opportunity to wish my sister, Abigail, in Brown, in Miami, who will be celebrating on Saturday. Gail, this is coming from your entire family, wishing you all the best when it comes on Saturday. And to all who will be celebrating birthday when it comes on Independence Day or before, happy birthday to you all. God bless the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. God bless you, Mr. Liburd. Keep up the good work, okay? Love you.
Thank you very much. Love you more, my dear sister. And just to say happy birthday as well to Jacqueline Rock. I heard it's your birthday today. And, of course, to Verna Patricia Lewis, your wonderful lady and dear friend from Keon, having a birthday today as well. It's 15 before the 9 o'clock hour. We go back to the lines. A caller. There's that call. And, yes, let's take this call. Caller, you are live. Hello, caller.
Good night, Mr. Liburd. How are you doing?
I am peaceful, Sister Sylvine. How about thou?
Oh, you're giving God thanks, man. Happy Independence to our Federation. And I want to encourage all of us to try and pursue our motto, country above self. Country above self is still our motto, you know. And the quicker we realize it, the better off we will be. We cannot make it without each other. No matter what we think or how we think. And it is in our, as you say, we want to have a gentler, kinder, gentler society. And therefore, we must therefore pursue peace. There are elements at work. Because the Bible says we don't fight flesh and blood. We are in a spiritual battle. And the enemy is working to all of us, some of us, to undo what God has done. And we may not be aware of it. You know, there are people sitting now waiting for unity to crash. And some of us are contributing to it. By the discourse we have, by the remarks we make, by the sides we take. And unless we understand that what is happening is being engineered by the devil and other people, and we are falling into the trap. We could be discussing other things, you know, because what we're talking about now, really, that can be discussed in another venue, not a venue, but in another situation, atmosphere. Because I noticed that since you started, maybe with the intention of educating, it has boiled down to division, and that to me is not beneficial to anybody. So I would advise a lot of us who like blood sport, who believe we're doing something good when we tear each other and we seek to divide, because that is what the enemy wants. That is all that the enemy wants, and we're playing the enemy game. A chain is as strong as its weakest link. And don't think that if you bust off one part of the chain, you got a whole chain still.
But,
I would advise, I can finish now. I would advise people to begin to pray, seek God's face, pray, ask God about what's going on before we continue to devour ourselves. You have something to say?
I was going to ask you if there shouldn't be an avenue to ventilate
should not
views
be in
because
public.
not in
This
public.
matter here, right?
Which
Let me be
public?
honest
Which
with
matter?
you. This matter we're discussing
Constitution.
is more than that.
No, what should not be in public? I'm not quite certain what you're saying.
This discussion, the angle it is taking or has taken, has put our people in a position where you would have seen people lining up behind people. Some lining up behind Mark Brantley and some behind Dr. Harris. That is unhealthy. So whatever way it takes, it is unhealthy, unprofitable, and we are playing into the hand of the devil. Plain and simple. He's just sitting and waiting for us to devour one another. So whether we use the Constitution or the Bible or whatever, if there is a disagreement, it can be worked out privately rather than have people coming on, some cussing Harris, some cussing Brantley, and it is foolish.
But I haven't heard anybody doing that.
Yes, I did.
But please,
remember the first time some of them come on and start to cuss Brantley?
we're not driving the
Some
car.
of them did it.
No, we're not driving the car in the rear mirror.
Some of them did it.
Yeah, but bear me out.
I'm telling them tonight, please don't come back with that.
No, but I want to find out because diversity is a positive thing. It's not something to fear, right? And often when people lack knowledge of things,
listen again. Maybe you don't realize it.
Mm-hmm.
You see, like how the engineering still to keep you out of the house. It's the same way. You were in a strong position, and part of the plan was to get you out. Having gotten you out, whether permanently or temporarily now, they're now targeting Mark Brantley, plain and simple.
Okay.
And if you don't got spiritualized, you don't see it. One by one. If you can't pick off the whole, you pick them off one by one. And the quicker we understand it, the better for us. I've spoken to Mr. Grant on his show. You know? People are, this is like how they set up Mr. Grant. Other people are being set up. Some people may not like me to set up. People are being set up. And all they're waiting, and then they come say, oh, he didn't have to go. Eh? When they finish setting up people, because that's what they're doing, and then they make it sound so innocent. Oh, you know, so and so. The Bible said, do not be ignorant of Satan's devices. Never be ignorant of what Satan is trying to do.
Okay, got you.
All right then.
Got you loud and clear. My dear sister, I always...
And God bless you.
God bless you as well, thanks. I always have an abundance of...
And you use wisdom, eh?
Yes, thanks for your guidance.
Use wisdom is the principal thing.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them pretending, like patches. They want to bring down the whole of unity.
Okay.
All right then.
Got you loud and clear. Coming from an elder, activist and statistician and everything, so widely knowledgeable. Caller, you're live.
Good night, Mr. Liburd.
Good night, my dear.
How are you?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Yeah, thank God. This is the girl what calling is tonight is my mom. Okay?
Uh-huh.
You really have seen, remember?
In St. Thomas?
Yeah, the 14.
Okay.
Yes. So just reminding you, tell her spend it good.
Yes.
And pray for her and be safe because down there got COVID.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, I get to speak to her today in St. Thomas because down there ain't easy with it.
And you wish her happy birthday?
Yes, I don't speak to her, yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So I can't get the next mom, eh?
Okay, no, we can't.
Well, she loves me and love her very much. And big up Sean for me, please, my family and a rebel.
Okay, we'll do.
Sean Richards.
Yes, my dear.
And big up yourself.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and happy independence and be safe.
Thank you very much.
Okay, calling from Saddlers, Paula, better known as Tita.
Okay, Tita from Saddlers.
Her one and only daughter. Okay. So I got to be there for my mom.
Okay, my
love you. Be safe.
Thank you very
much.
Have
a good night.
Thank you very much, Paula.
Thanks for the federation. Be safe.
Okay, thanks a lot. And
thanks a lot.
Paula, and if your mom, Yulie Hobson in St. Thomas is listening, we wish you a happy birthday and many more to come. We go back to the lines at 7 before 9. Call you live.
Mr. Live, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
What is the latest on the Conamona? How is he behaving?
I take that as a rhetorical question, my brother.
He and his disciples.
Beg pardon?
I said, he and his disciples. How are they behaving? I guess you can comment, you know. No, it would be nice for you to make any comment at all. Anyway, you take care. You do your job.
Okay, thank you very much, my dear brother. Let's go back to the lines at 7 before 9. Call you live.
Yes, good evening, Honorable.
Good evening, my dear.
First, I want to wish my daughter Nemo and to get.
You're breaking up there. Rockefeller.
Okay,
Can you repeat
you hear me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
Yeah, she had to leave some of them junk food and eat solid food and stay right in health. Okay, so I wish her all the best for she birthday. I know where she is right now. She enjoying herself.
Who is your daughter? Who is your daughter, may I ask?
Well, she name is Miss Rock, but
that's Jacqueline Rock.
Yeah.
I say you wish my daughter Jacqueline a happy birthday. I just did. So why can't you?
You did.
Yes, right. Okay.
Yeah. Now, I want to say something to my family there. Miss Henry, that is my family, right? Now, I hear just now, I agree with some of the things she said. But when she wants to do that, she needs to take a right around the border. Because the show opened up today, and the first thing the host of the show said, he will not be attacking the government and talking about the prime minister and nothing. But then he got away and he started to talk about the prime minister, the government, and everything, and all that. And Miss Henry called in there today, and she never said nothing in the behalf of separating one from one another and calling down one another. So I don't know what my good friend, my family, Miss Henry, they'll be thinking sometime, you know, but to each his own. That's all I want to say, right? This is, we're coming up for Independence 37, and I wish the government, you, everybody, the Prime Minister, and the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, and the Federation, a happy anniversary with a lot of health and strength. And while you have a unity government, you have nothing to worry about. Because the Prime Minister is a caring man, a loving man, and he look out for everybody. He don't care what side of the fence you're on. He don't pick out who to help. And that is what government is all about. So, wish you the best, and I won't continue no more right now until somebody else come and talk something negative, then I will come back in.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. The People's King, you missed that call. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller?
Yes, Brother Patches.
Yes, sir.
Meetings in the name of our great African ancestors, especially the most Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey and Queen Nzinga. Blessed evening, my beloved African brother. How are you? How the family? How SKN?
SKN, the family, we all peaceful. You and your family?
Good, brother. Good.
I missed your voice for a moment.
What you said?
I said I lost your voice for a moment. Sounded as if you're in a foxhole.
No, brother, no.
That sounds like Nabu now.
I'm here, man. All is good, all is well, bro. No, brother. Let me first say, brother, our people, sometimes we got to face what come, brother. Sometimes we got to deal with each other in the harshest of ways, brother, to divide the true patriots and the traitors, beloved. Because it makes no sense whatsoever to have traitors among us, beloved. That's the only division I am for. But anything else, brother, we must unite as a people. But no traitors on board, beloved. You have traitors on board, brother, everything gonna go wrong, beloved. Because you're gonna be figuring, oh, Patchy said this said that. Oh, I wonder if it's Culture who said that, Rock who said that, the sister down here over Newtown said that her sister would be, but brother, can't have that kind of confusion, man. In these critical times, brother, we must depend on each other more than ever, beloved. That unity must be there more than ever. And this little thing, St. Kitts Nevis, brother, the only thing I have to say with that, brother, I would love to see that St. Kitts and Nevis be one country forever. But, beloved, if there's ever a time that Nevis decide they want to go, brother, it's their right. It's their right. And that should be enshrined in any constitutional reform, that Nevis should have the right to go if they choose it, beloved. At any time, we must do that. But in saying that, brother, Nevis must get what it rightfully deserves financially. And must, if anybody says, listen, Nevis ain't getting what they say, but even now, beloved, I know they're getting more than what they used to get. But brother, if Brother Mark Brandmere, any other person who was born in Nevis say, listen, we supposed to be getting more. No one should have no problem in it whatsoever, beloved. Okay. Because Nevis was treating like third-class citizens under Bratz and his cabal until Dr. Simmons and great Sim Daniel remedied that to some extent, and no team unity remedied that even more, brother. Okay. But, beloved, they just give me about 10 more seconds, beloved. Let me finish up. 10 more seconds, brother. Patches. And, brother, we must do that. Don't let nobody tear this unity construct apart. We're going to have differences of opinion, whether in public or private, brother. And I think nobody should be offended by that. Because my paternal grandparents from Nevis, the Butler, from Butler, the Busses. I don't know if I'm related to the sister who says she's a Busse, her father's a Busse from Butler. But one of these times probably
I got you, my brother.
That's what I'm saying, man. We need and got to stand with all of us for the betterment of our country. Okay. And brother, let me just wish everyone a happy independence, and let us act as independent people and look into ourselves for over whatsoever it takes.
Okay, my brother, I got you loud and clear.
Brother, thanks again for hearing me. Have a happy independence, you and the entire Federation. Pan-Africanism our parish. One love, my
brother. One love, my brother. As we build resilience, again, as we become more innovative and enhance our security for Independence 2020, especially in these unprecedented times, these new norms, can we bounce back from this deadly pandemic? What can we do differently in order to survive? We are doing well, but we don't know, rather, when the borders are opened, what will happen. Are we safe and secure under a team unity government 37 years after 37 years of independence? Call you live.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, my dear brother. That sounds like the help of the helpless, the voice of the voiceless, my dear brother and fellow constituent from East Bastia, warrior exemplar.
Yes, I too wish to follow the protocol that has been established. But before I do so, let me greet you in the presence of the ancestors in whose shoulders I stand. I'm not even walking, I'm on their shoulders, but there are many. Yes. Yes, I too wish to follow the protocol that has been established by wishing the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis a happy birthday, 37th birthday when it comes. I want to just greet Nabu, my warrior brother, and Sister Sylvian Henry. Humble servant, my contribution tonight, I'm going to pick it back a little bit from the previous, your previous episode. But it's all about maturity as we dialogue. We are approaching the 37th anniversary of our independence. And if my memory serves me right, in the space of the two islands, there are about 5 official political parties to this moment. At times there were others, because I recall when there was a party by the name of UNEP. But as we speak now, out of the 5 political parties, 4 of them, I think, are more than 37 years. Can you correct me if any of them, with the exception of the PLP?
If any of them what? I lost you.
I'm trying to establish that 4 of the political parties, the 2 on Nevis and 2 on St. Kitts, there are 5 of them, 3 is on St. Kitts. But with the exception of the PLP party, the other 4 are much older than 37 years. Is that so?
Let me see. When was CCM? CCM was in the. Yes, I think you're correct. Yes, I think you're correct.
Thank you. And it's all about political maturity. We did have an election on the 5th of June, 2020. And it's about time now that as we progress, we need to morph beyond the political tribalism that still exists, still permeates. And I just want to piggyback on what a contributor to your program said last week, an elder, Noel, as to some of the mischievousness that still continues. What I would like to see going forward, that the political parties, I'm not sure, maybe on a higher level, because humble servant, there are bruises after a victory or what have you. And I would like to see where political parties establish a counseling for members who wish to admit, because we are so naive or we are so steep into what I would call political, you're so ingrained in that, like fanaticism, that we still refuse to, accept defeat at times and move on. And we are so much in denial that we tend to carry this thing on from one political season to the next. That ought to stop. We all grew up with the Bible, and we have heard about there is a time and a season for everything under the sun. Not so in St. Kitts when it comes to the politics. And so in terms of our maturity, I wish to see established by the political parties some sort of mechanism where we can counsel the most bruised and damaged persons. But some has an agenda that they feed into this, mischievousness by their supporters. And it ought to stop. Because we'll just be going round and round in circles. And a dialogue like the previous episodes and tonight, it is welcoming. In spite of what persons might think, your objective is always to educate. And we have to be mature enough to get these things to the fore. I have listened to the morning news on the Win FM. And I have heard citizens of Guyana, prominent citizens maybe, making the plea, and it always redounds to prayers when situations can be avoided. For the longest, a country like Guyana and Trinidad and Tobago, they are two of the most savvy countries within CARICOM that has this tribal ethnic divide, and it redounds down to even politics. And the spillovers sometimes is detrimental. And persons would not just take it lightly. There's going to be, retribution, so to speak. And so I'm afraid that if we don't have this type of discussion, eventually, we saw what happened back in 93 maybe. I was abroad then. But I've heard, because I'm always in tune to back home. And so we need to have this type of discussion and, close chapters and really, get our people mature to the point that we will see an election just like other first world countries, so to speak, and move on. They're going to be winners, they're going to be losers. There's going to be the other branches of our government that will probably come into the fray to settle other matters. So be it. But at the end of the day, we are to say to ourselves, and we're living in these tight-knit communities, that our neighbors could be on the other political divide, but we do need each other. Just like how we need St. Kitts and Nevis. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
And I am a Kitty Vision. My mother hails from Cotton Ground.
Okay, I'll look for you tomorrow, my dear brother.
Of
and
course.
for those, my fellow constituents as well, don't forget that tomorrow at 7:30, the constituency executive would be elected. That meeting starts at 7:30 at the Tucker Clark Primary School. That was postponed from last week. Last week, was it Wednesday? Was it last week? Wednesday, I think it was. My Straight Talk family, I do agree with the caller. Everyone has an entitlement to a view, but you see, there are some of us in this the 21st century, as Kittitians and Divisions. We do not wish to entertain dialogue. We want to act out the old Irish proverb or adage, whatever you say nothing. And that this attitude influences many of us, that if we say nothing, it helps to avoid conflict at all levels of society. And at its simplest, dialogue is the process that facilitates better understanding of each other's view, and it enhances our ability to make informed decisions. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you live.
Hello.
So.
Yes, good evening, Dr. Ian Patrick Liburd. This is Radical Culture. Sorry about that.
Your humble servant, my dear brother.
Yes.
Just coming down from the volcano.
Oh, yes. Everything is good up there.
Okay.
Yeah, all the people say good evening to you. Let me shout out my good friend, the station Janet. I hope you're all right with this COVID thing. And my new friend, down in Virtuals. Now, Patches, what start wrong a morning, it ain't gonna come good in the night. Can't. Now, this unity government was put there by the divine intervention. God, because God see the suffering that was handed down to Nevis, the citizens of Nevis and who live over there, the treatment that they get from the Labour government. And it's God put this unity there, 1, 2, 3. And who God bless, not a mortal upon earth curse. Now look here, 1995 93 election, you know what happened? 4-4. And then the leader of the so-called Labour Party, never satisfied, went over to Nevis and asked Mr. Amory to join with him. And he gonna make him Prime Minister. Mr. Amory had vision. Mr. Amory he clearly would have been neutral. I'm driving in neutral. Mr. Amory joined with nobody. And Mr. Amory steady, and then look CCM come and win the election in Nevis. And they carry Nevis to where it is. Until Mr. Amory said, okay, I'm going to step aside and let Mr. Brantley take over. Now, Mr. Bentley take over and the island still going good. The island getting what has belongs to them long ago. What is belongs to them now, they're getting it eternal loan. They have to pay back nothing. But you see what happened? Denzil Douglas, the leader of the so-called Labour Party, he said he will never rest until he gets Timothy out of government headquarters. He will do anything to get him out of India. So therefore, look at it. He never congratulated Dr. Harris for winning the first 2015 election, and he didn't do so with 2020 neither. Instead of that, he chatting all kind of violence on platform, but he going to send to Sandy Point tomorrow, will capture the territory. All man dead, wounded, not a man standing. What is that for he to say? He is satisfied with the government there, and 2 days after, a young man from his constituency get gunned down in Sandy Point, where he was going to capture the territory, and then come up to now, he go back again on board and say he overthrow a 15-year-old government. Overthrow is illegal, and he influenced a lot of them who follow in him. Some of them pretend that they are both scholars, but they follow in he, doing so much of wrong things. They are worse than he. Anybody support the devil is worse than the devil. And he doing everything in his in his power to see what he could do. In the church building, the church service, remember he said, I'm a Christian. Well, if you are a Christian, show you are a Christian by your fruits and your works. In the church, you refuse to shake the Prime Minister and Dr. Harris. That is a Christian because he's full of evil and he feeding those who can't see the light of the world with evil and they're supporting him. So what we expect, all what we have to do, just keep on praying to God. Guys, he put this government there and it's only he can move it. Patricia will come back. Thank you. I don't want to go over me 2 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my Stray Dog family. Go straight back to the lines caller. I just missed that call from the overseas line. My Stray Dog family, it's now 15 past the 9 o'clock hour. I go back to the lines. Caller, you live. Hello, caller.
Patrick, good night. How are you?
I am peaceful, my dear. Yourself?
I'm good. I wish you well tomorrow. I don't send in me absentee ballot, okay?
Okay, my dear, right. Yes, my dear.
We're going to have to get a little karaoke, a little singing and get off the stress. Yeah. We're going to have to get a little competition who could sing the best. But Patrick, this thing with me, I'm saying it's right. My father born in Mount Strat. My father is a Riley from Mount Strat. All in Mount Strat then. The Riley, but my grandmother born in Nevis, Ginger and Handless Road, Theodosia Brown. My grandfather born in Nevis, Abraham Maynard. So everybody got some kind of tie with St. Kitts and Nevis. So we ain't going no place. Actually, we ain't going nowhere. And I see you had a lot of school children getting school bag. You had enough school bag to give them children because I made to understand that the Labour candidate, the main give out no bag this year. That's true?
I'm not certain. I don't really follow them, quite frankly. I don't have the digits
on the cover. Hearing son,
but I don't have the digits on the cover. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't. Quite frankly.
Because I noticed you had extra children this year because and then somebody was telling me they ain't give out no bag, but and me hearing them at all, I don't hear them on the way, and I don't know why they're treating the supporters them like that. You got to keep in touch with your people. Still look at you. Even though they say you lose, you're still keeping in touch with your people. So I think they need to treat the people better. You can't wait from 2 years from now, then you come back out and want people to vote for you when they don't pull them up on the courthouse step, making a whole heap of noise and all them kind of thing. You ain't even come back to them and let them know what is what. You can't treat the people, say not you African in general, they can't treat people like that, Patrice. We're going to have to work on them, We have to go out and work on them Labour supporters so they could come over. Something within unity, okay? Long live team unity. And good night to everyone. Patrice, if I have anything else to say, I'll come back. And good night, Mommy, Miss Baptiste. Patrice, Miss Baptiste, right?
Yes, certainly. Of course.
She always say you and she mother were good friend, Miss Liburd.
Yes, that's true.
Yes, so You must go visit her one at a time. She was 92, I think. Mommy, good night. Long live. See you when I see you.
Okay.
Take care. Thank you for the time you've been around when my mother never there. And I love you, Mommy. Be
Okay.
strong. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks for your input. At 20 after 9 o'clock, and we again, we are looking at Independence 37 and very much focus on the theme, resilience, innovation, and security. And we are looking at how do we build resilience, become more innovative, and enhance our security for Independence 2020. Caller, you live. Hello, caller.
Hello. Good night.
Yes, my dear. Could you turn your radio, your equipment, your device down and move away? Yes.
Yes.
Is this
Good
my
night,
sister?
my brother, Excellency.
Yes, I want the whole world to hear you.
Yes. I would like to take this opportunity. Anyway, let me greet you. I did not greet you. How are you?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Well, I am good. Thank God. I would like to take this opportunity to wish our federation happy independence. I don't know if you will be back on Thursday night, because Thursday is our big day. So I'm doing it now. I will also like to wish the Right Honorable Kennedy Simmons a very happy independence. He was the Prime Minister who brought us independence. When he took the stateful flag and the Union Jack, and he put up the independence flag that night, a little bit of rain sprinkled like blessing in the sky, and the flag flew, and it flies, and everybody frightened and rage and happy and shout. Dr. Simmons, if you're hearing me tonight, good night. And I would like to say our country running good. Dr. the Right Honorable Timothy Harris has been doing very well for this country. Nevis and St. Kitts are one, and we're not going anywhere. And I would like to pray for you. I pray the Lord will cover you, wash you, protect you with his angel, and cover you with his blood for this trial coming up. And we will have a celebration in Jesus' name. Have a good night.
Thank you very much.
And
yes.
safe journey home.
Thanks a lot. Good evening, Patches. Reads this email. I think it was last week, Monday, that your topic was based on abandoned houses in St. Kitts. There are people here who are abandoning vehicles too. For almost a month now, an old van PA 5546 has been abandoned by its owner on Harry Phipps Road, Hertfordshire. The owner, from all reports, does not even live in Hertfordshire. That particular road is very busy traffic, and at times the derelict vehicle slows the flow of traffic. It would be nice if the owner could have this vehicle towed away. Reads this email. This other email. Good evening, Patches. I think it was. I think that's the same email. Good evening, Patches. I think. What am I saying? Let's take this line so I get my act together. Caller. I missed that call again. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good night to the Honorable Ian Patches Liburd. Good night.
Good night, my dear brother. Politics. How about thou?
Oh, man, I'm here hanging in, man. Usually, you know, listening to the program. Patches, I just want to tell Sister Sylvie Henry, right, that all who trying to drive in wedge between the unity government is not we who elect the unity government. You understand? And anybody got a problem with the unity government is those who are on the opposition side, are those who was greedy, and they ain't get where they're supposed to get, and all those things. We ain't have no problem because anywhere you go in this federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, everybody in this unity government. You understand? So any ministers who we elect and they got a problem with unity and they want to drive wedge between the Premier and Dr. Harris. You understand? When the next time come around, we know what to do. Because we know that we went out there to vote for unity government, we went out there to vote for NAPAM, we went out there to vote for the CCM, we went out there to vote for the PLP, we went to vote for a unity body to come together as one to look over the federation, as Dr. Harris done elected was the Prime Minister, who be the Prime Minister for 2 terms. So anybody want to drive wedge, let them go drive wedge. Patches, let me go again. No Patches. Patches, I don't know. I was watching the thing at the court, the petition where Labour put in at the courthouse, you know, Patches, and only to show you that how this Labour Party always want to make a fool of the people. Them. Patches, when I was watching it, I observed it very good. That Dr. Douglas and the guy there from number 4, Wentford, they was going up. And the rest of them was going up like go talk and the people them but going up on the court step, right? To go make the speech. And the rest of the people them left down in the road. But whoever Marcella whisper to Candice, you know, because you know she's a liar. So Candice start to call back down the people them now. I mean call back down Dr. Douglas and Wentford, and they come down and stand up in the road. And then the people them go up on the court step. But Patches, I'm gonna tell you, you know, that piece of episode, right? I believe that could make a good movie, you know. A good movie after that, you know, Patches. Because let me tell you something, Patches. You know the reason why the car back down Dr. Douglas and the car back down Wentford, the people them go put themselves in a trouble. And the courthouse step. Because nobody have no right to go up on a courthouse step, go by on a courthouse step. You understand? So only to show you that how the hours want to get the people and blindfold. When I see people like your good friend Patches, she one was there. You know, good morning, Peter Cabbage, ma'am, and a few others. Going up, running up full speed. You understand? Man, no matter that in this country. We are educated people. We are sensible people. We are people who know the politics. And this is the time for people to move on with this unity government. Patches, I was in town today. And Patches, tongue as peaceful as ever. And according to the county, the bar doesn't open really. And I hope the people take drastic measures and put on with the mask. Because Patches, people coming in every day in the country, almost every day in the country, you know. People coming in every day in the country. Look, over 100 and something people coming from Ras. And you don't hear nothing. Because the people who controlling the COVID and the government, they're doing a good job. So, Patches, you have a wonderful night. My boys going there.
Yes.
I got the itchy throat, you know. I got the cough.
Yes, my dear.
Bless up, man.
Sorry for that, but I think I need to correct you. Another way that people are coming in every day in the country, though. Patches, I fully agree with all Miss Sylvine Henry said. I've been listening to the program, and sometimes I think that you are fanning the flames of this unity. As Miss Henry said, you have to be careful, especially bearing in mind that you are supposed to be a part of the unity construct. Yes, dialogue is good, but at the same time, diplomacy has to be exercised. I am division, but I have lived most of my life in St. Kitts. I have relatives all over St. Kitts. In fact, I had 2 uncles and an aunt living in Newtown. They were all from Nevis. St. Kitts and Nevis needs each other. I'm sure we won't disagree with you, my brother. But that's what Straight Talk is all about. You're entitled to your opinion, even though we don't have to accept it. We do respect it. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good evening. Good evening, Patches.
Good evening, the matron of Straight Talk and of St. Kitts Nevis. How about thou?
I'm doing all right, praise the Lord. God is good all the time.
All the time, God is good, yeah.
Yes. First of all, let me say congratulations and a happy anniversary, 37th anniversary, to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. When you started off this evening, and you were talking about the the connections with St. Kitts and Nevis, and everybody has part of them in Nevis and part in St. Kitts. My grandfather, Charlie Paris, was from Cotton Ground. And my father, Ariel Paris, you might know him, Patches,
sounds familiar.
was living in New York, in Newtown, East Street.
Okay, yes, I do.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Paris.
Yes.
That's my father.
Your father, okay.
And yes, but he was born in St. Kitts.
Okay.
His mother was from Anguilla. She was a Gums. So my grandparents on his side, one was from Nevis, my grandfather, and my grandmother was from Anguilla. And we are one people. I don't know why there's division, but I agree with Sister Sylvine. This is a spiritual battle. Satan does not like unity. He likes division. Adam and Eve, they were united to their Heavenly Father. And Satan went right in that, and he smashed up everything. And so today the world, that is how it is. Satan works in people, and no matter, even families, he tried to bring division among sisters and brothers, among husbands and wives. He is a person who stands for division, a spirit who stands for division. That is spirit, divide and conquer. I am so happy yesterday when I listened to the service and I heard that pastor took his message from 2 Chronicles, chapter 20, and he spoke of Jehoshaphat and the problem that Jehoshaphat was having. But you always hear me say the battle belongs to the Lord. And we have to stand firm in prayer and ask the Lord, He who brought them together, He can keep them together. And He can bind them together. And we have to forget about this nonsense about Nevis and St. Kitts and Nevis and St. Kitts. All of us are one. I don't think there is a family in St. Kitts that don't have somebody, whether grandmother, great-grand, that isn't from Nevis. And so I am just asked people just to rest it in peace. Don't cause any more division by saying this and saying that. Satan is at work and we have to watch him. It's a spiritual battle we are fighting. And we have to stand strong in faith and say, those whom God has joined together, no man can put asunder. And stamp the holy devil and tell him, we have the victory. The battle belongs to the Lord.
Okay.
May the Lord bless the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis as we continue to go forward. May we go forward in strength and in unity and in love. It's three together. And I always think of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And they're bound bound together by God, and no man can break them.
Okay.
God bless you all.
God bless you as well, Mr. Machen. Patches, that lady who spoke, I would say she misspoke. At the end of the day, grant was not set up. Ambassador, we have to stop kicking the can down the road. We need to deal with the South Square posse, for if we devour ourselves, Patches, the clock will be turned back and they will be back in power. Thursday is 3 days away. I'm waiting for the outcome. God bless and be safe. Read this email. Caller, you alive. That's Mr. Caller, you alive. What's happening to these lines? Caller, you alive.
Good night again, Mr. Liburd.
Good night, my dear.
I'm going to be short. I want to thank Jackie. She sent me the number for my friend in St. Croix. So, Jackie, I got you to her. Tomorrow will be my son's birthday. He was born in Newtown, Herbert Ali. So, I'm a Newtowner. So, happy birthday, Anthony Henry. And may the Lord bless you. Tomorrow, there will be youth parliament. Do you know what they're going to discuss?
I'm afraid not, Miss. I'm sorry.
It will be interesting. Sniper. I think they said tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, if anybody knows for sure, they could call in and say. A message to Vincent, who says, see you when I see you.
Yes.
He was trying to contact a man in Montserrat. I got the message to the gentleman because see you when you see you say that he sailed with somebody and he thought it was the person.
Montserrat, yeah.
Yes, Montserrat said, no, he did not sail with Vincent, but he sailed with Eric. So I suppose he wouldn't know who is who. So he might be listening because he usually calls into your show.
Okay.
So just tell him Mr. Montserrat says, no, he did not sail with him, but I think he said he met him in Puerto Rico. But he sailed with Eric. All right, then, all the best. Happy Independence, and God bless our Federation.
Thanks a lot, and happy Independence to you as well. We go back to the lines at 25 before 10 o'clock. Call you live.
Attention.
Yes, my dear.
Good night, yeah. Sister Garnet, father, right? Good night, Sister Garnet. That's who raised me and my grandmother. He used to up East Street with my grandmother. I don't understand him. He used to up to the Long Pier.
Yes, I know. I know Mr. Paris, yeah.
Yes, well, that's what he did with my grandmother. He's the only person I see as a father growing up, so
okay.
I'm going to give him thanks too. But he and my grandmother is who raised four of us when my mother went to England. So, Sister Garnet, good night. Thank you for your father. He do a very good job. And he shared back the blessing on me. I thought you good night.
Thanks a lot for your input. We go straight back to the line. Call you live.
Pleasant good evening to you, Patches.
Good evening, my dear brother. Sounds
and
good.
happy Independence to you, my brother. God bless you.
Same to you, my brother.
I want to say a happy Independence to the entire Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis.
Noel, I'm sorry to interrupt you. You have a radio equipment device next door?
Hang on a second.
Please. Yes, at 25, 24 before 10 o'clock. Caller, yes, go ahead, sir.
I want to say a special happy birthday greetings to the Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis on the achievement of the 37th anniversary. Patches, let me say this. You are so good at it. I must compliment you sometimes. I listen to you, and if nothing else, I listen is your intros. I love to listen to your intros. And you're so right. And I like how you analyze the evolution of St. Christopher Nevis and Anguilla to present day. Because I knew exactly what it was like. Patches, I'm fortunate to have spent time on all three islands. Nevis, where my first two children was born, in Jessup Village. I've been to Anguilla first time, and the Christina, carrying agricultural produce
and other things for the Department of Angola to Angola. I've been to Angola in different times. But Patches, let me say this. In 1979, prior to the independence, Dr. Simmons ran a mantra. I could never forget it. That we are a landless people and we have a monoculture. And we have to evolve from that. And he was adamant. Yes. And so he did when he was elected and denied in 1979. Similar, I would say, but not so similar, I would say, to you. And I know why I say that. But here are we in 2020 Patches with a government led by the Honorable Dr. Harris. Doing well. Very, very well. I don't compliment him, I don't compliment her the way I should. But it doesn't take any blind person could see what is being done to this country. The reformation, the development, take off from the stagnation that we experienced for 20 years. And, I would like to say, especially to you, for your hard work. And your team. Because no one man is an island. It's a team. But you stand out, along with Dr. Harris and the others. And I want to say that all in all, through it all, I remember 2015 Patches, the whole kitchen sink and the kitchen was thrown at us. Everything. Money, money, like they were finding money from where, God in heaven knows. But we prevailed, Patches. Patches, we prevailed. I can't walk, but every meeting I was there, Patches. You know why? Moral support is important as the X. And not only the X, If I alone just vote and not encourage anybody else to vote, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. Each one teach one. And that is what an election is all about. And that is what the Labour Party don't seem to understand. Patches, I listened today. Adamant. I listened to the reformation of the Navy's Reformation Party. Patches, they clean house. They clean house. A Labour Party must take an example for that. The NRP is 50 years old. The Labour Party is 80-something or 70-something years old from 1942 till today. And they must take an example. No one man is an island. And that is why Dr. Harris and Team Unity is so successful. The people talk about, Brantley this and Brantley saying this and Brantley saying, that's democracy at work. I want to tell everybody that that's democracy at work. And that's how democracy, when you put it to work, it works for you too. And that is what's happening to St. Kitts. Patches, there are some talk going around about, when we open this going to happen. I want to say to the people of St. Kitts Nevis, when the government is doing something on their behalf, they must listen and listen attentively. Don't worry about Facebook. Patches, I know that this government that I supported and worked for, when they open the borders of St. Kitts Nevis, we will be well protected. I want to tell them why I think so. Okay. Taiwan, we are the oldest who have diplomatic ties with Taiwan, has the best record worldwide in protecting the people. Okay. And if they think my life, go on the internet and they'll find out.
Okay, my brother, got you.
Now, Patches, allow me to finish, please.
Hey, bye.
Because the same Taiwanese government is here helping this government to put
certain things in place that they put in place in their own country to make the country so successful in preventing the COVID into the country when they open the borders. Okay. And I thank you, Patches. God bless you and safe night. Patches, will you some messages I sent you?
Yes, I did so. I'll be in touch. Okay. Thanks.
And touch base with me whenever.
Yeah, thanks for your intervention as usual. You're never out of words, my dear brother. Shirley, if I can say Russell, the song or the name of the song that starts the show is one of my own songs called Keep Moving On. In the event you wanted to hear is my own song, Keep Moving On. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Yes, good evening, Patrick. Your callers in the thing that they hear the house. Nobody else want to call you. I don't understand them. But what I want to tell you is, these cycle men, they need to get someone. We have the stop fearing and everything. And I want labor, Mass's house, with some galvanized, sponsor some galvanized and everything to fix Mass's house roof. Because all is a free here for all, and I need Mass's house roof to fix. And I need boys main road to fix down here, so come straight across by the bad. Because I'm a lot of rat hole in it. And you have a blessed evening and happy, independent, and safe journey home. Me know doing your work, but I need them to come go fix the road. Because a lot of them know your work, team unity, and they ain't banging them about the road, but they're banging them about all kind of things. So have a blessed evening. See you.
Have a blessed evening, my dear. Do you think that's a fair share to fix the Mass's house roof? Oh, that's interesting. Caller, you live. Yes, caller, you're live at 15 before 10.
Patrick, good night.
Good night, my brother.
Good night, Jacqueline, on culture and politics and the freedom fighter. Good night, Nevis. Have happy independence, think it's Nevis. Patrick,
brother.
I want to say to the bossman down there, Park and Beach, Pretoria Square is looking so awful. Yesterday, I felt so ashamed to see the people come over from Nevis and they walk here to get up to the park and the state of the Pretoria Square. We're supposed to do better than this, my brother, down there in that department. That department, you as the boss should be moving around Bastille and making sure that these places here clean for Independent Week. I ain't approve that. If I tell you I'm mad, I'm mad. Because the square can't clean. And right in the heart of 4th Street, dirty. We're not going to entertain that, my brother. You got to come better than that. You got to put things in place. Otherwise, jam down will come at you. That is, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis for many years are the Brattle regime. And this vagabond fellow, I failed to call his name, have put we people in a kind of position where this tit for tit politics in St. Kitts, we can't go with it no more, you know. That's why the unity government put in place. As Sylvine said, in fact, I want to let Sylvine know this, you know. That debate is a very healthy one, and we not going to shy from it. We got to face it head on, Sylvine. The moderator is not stupid. He knows just how to handle it. You understand? He have the wheel. He know how to handle it. But we must debate this. People is not going to mash up something what is good, and we just stand aside and watch it mash up and don't say nothing. The people think it's Nevis and vote for them. They vote for unity alone. They vote for labor. You understand? We say we want a unity government. They vote for CCM and NRP. We say we want a unity government. That's the best for this country. And I could tell you, in the next 3 elections to come, if we are around, we're going to select ministers, you know, from different parties, you know. This is the way things is going to run. And I don't see it. That is, I want to say before I go, that the people in St. Kitts Nevis,
must congratulate Kennedy Alfonso Simmons for the job he has done. He has done a great job, along with Master Keynes in the background and the great legendary William Hobart. They have made a mark in this country. The Honorable Timothy Harris come, and we can't leave him out. You could say all what you want about Tim. Tim handled the fort, and he still managed to handle it. And we ain't going to leave him. And me jam down here and play ungrateful. Because me don't build things to mash up. That is, have a good night.
Let's have a good night as well, my dear brother Jam Down. And saying hello to Janet, your sister in St. Martin. I haven't heard Dumpling for a while. Hi, Mr. Liburd. Good night. I was out with relatives and I hurried to get home as I wanted to send you an email because I would very much like to know if your case is still on Thursday, September 17th. I would like to know, yes, God's willing it would be on Thursday, of course, subject to the decision of the Justice Trevor Ward. QC, I would like to wish the Federation, it continues, happy independence, 37 to the Federation. I sincerely hope that the Federation would continue to be successful. I have to disagree with Mr. Politics. I did not vote for unity. I voted for the party because of Pam's position with unity, and if Pam was not included, I would not have voted at all. I just heard one of your callers calling to say that Matron Gannett's father lives somewhere in Newtown, and apparently she has a different person in mind, thinking that person is Matron Gannett's father, because that is not true. Matron Gannett's father lived on Irish Town, and he was married to a lady by the name of Doris Paris. So I do not know who she's thinking is Matron's father. Matron's father was John Paris. Please check this out. Please let me know if your case is on September 17th, as I would truly like to know. I really want to hear the good news on Thursday afternoon in the news. Read this email. I think, in fact, you called in, your message is tuning late because Matron Gannett did confirm that her father, Charles, lived on East Street in Newtown. Caller, you live.
Patches, good night. I come back again.
Mm-hmm.
Patches, you should have told Miss Peter that the farm administration put a load of tin in down Newton Ground, Cranston Estate, fence up Cane. So if they want the roof fence, they want the roof cover, go down there for the galvanize and what they had down there. Them green galvanize with taxpayers' money. Let she go down there, go carry them, but Masters house to fix it. Now, Patches, this is Independence Week or month of celebration. And the government now is trying to encourage people to be patriotic with the colors of the state flag. But look what happening in town already with them old trash house what we done talk about. We talking about them trash house there for years now. They need broke down and shop down. They got the tongue look nasty. And you hear what Jam Down said, the Pretoria square coin up by the circus there. Look where that be, right down in the mouth of town. 4th Street is the most popular street in town. And you're going to tell me they couldn't clean up that place there? Mr. Blake and ZAZ show at a morning time. He requests that a lot of people volunteer and go up and clean up the old grammar school pasture. Well, I don't ever start yet. Now, what do you mean to tell me? Them people who are cleaning up the place around, they can't see that there? And when you're going down Orishtown Bay Road, you know, Miss Stephen had Chilil Marby and Ginger Beer shop. We used to go down, a lot of people used to go in there. Look how the house look. Cover with bush, and a big house gone up there. So, them people there, a lot of people willfully keeping the place nasty and dirty because they're trying to bring down the government in any way they can. They're doing all kind of malicious things and letting things happen over the place. I don't know what happened to them people over the health center. What they're doing, and they're getting our repair. They're getting the money to do the work, and they ain't doing the work. The drain them green, and the drain supposed to look like the cement. People say they clean in drain, and before they clean the drain, they throw aliens sit down and listen radio and abuse Ari, who's supporting the government and keeping up the government. People got to come better than that. Come better than that. Patches, I like you when you were in the government, you know. because you just go and you see that you get things done. Well, Akila is the new Minister of Health, and they ain't going to put no whole burden on she, because we're going to defend she. And all them who getting government money and they walking, they're going to have to get up because we ain't going to hush. We are not going to hush. We're not jam down. I think I do me 4 minutes. Thank you, Patrice.
Thank you very much. And just for information again, Matron Garnett has clarified this, and she said, and I quote, "My father was Ariel Paris. His brother was John Paris, lived in Irish Town, and was married to Oris's uncle? Oris's uncle, John, had no children." Reads a message from Matron Garnett. I hope that clarifies for that email. I'll call you live.
Yes, Prince Patrick. People who ain't gonna house come bang them out, right? And they want him here, and they want him all over.
Can I say something? Can I say something to you? Can I say something to you? Hello? Okay.
Yes, listen.
Yeah, when you're calling, I know you somehow we get in quite often. Just to turn your radio down and just be calm and make a point. Can you do that for me from now on? Hello?
Yes.
Just turn your radio down.
They're always banging him out.
Okay, got.
I said what I got to say. He said what he got to say.
Okay, got you.
I don't know what happened to him. He don't even accept and he begging.
Okay, but okay. Have a good night, my dear. That's I know we pass Labour. I know we pass PAM. I know we pass NRP. I know we pass PLP. I know we pass what's the other one? CCM. And what we all gone to Unity. But trust me, that is my Labour friend. She's not moving. She's not coming to Unity at all. She told me. Call you live. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller, for the last time? Okay, that person not listening to the equipment. Caller, you live.
Pleasant good evening to you. How are you?
I am peaceful, my dear. Always so calm and cool, and I can see your dimples. Yes.
I to say happy independence to St. Kitts and Nevis when it comes on Saturday. That is the caller from the boy's youngest. Tell her when she husband get back the money from Gatwick, he could have gone to Matthew's house.
Okay. Oh my, yes. I got you, my dear. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live.
Good night, my brother from another mother.
How are you, my brother?
I'm cool. Happy independence to the whole Federation. And I'm very appreciate what Ms. Garnett has said and what Ms. Sylvian has said. I'm very proud of the way they put over the English. English is a funny language, but there is time that people have to pray that we shall unite together. Because if we do not unite together, we're not going to be the nowhere. This country has suffered too long under the labor regime. And due to the fact you have suffered so long, there is time that we, the younger ones, have to take it up on our mantle. People like you, Dr. Timothy, Sean Richards, Daniel Powell, the man in number 8. We're going to get the one, we're going to get the seat next election in number 6. So don't worry about that. When we don't boom him, everything will be all right. But I'm telling you that we all come from too far. Mark Brantley and he had 2 people who turn back now. Now he's on the road to progress. There is nobody supposed to send us apart. Remember in 2014, they say unity ain't going nowhere. And they let us boom ourselves. And we end up winning the election in 2015. So due to the fact of certain circumstances, we have come from too far to turn back now. We have a very good accountant. God has sent Timothy there for us. And due to the fact that God has sent Timothy there for us, we have to stand up and rally behind Timothy to make sure that we get this government. Thursday I will be there. So help me God. And also, we got to talk about them bakers telling us a $2 bread for $5 and $7. These bakers in St. Kitts are in another place. We work too hard for our money. We're getting a $2 bread for $5. And the Lord be with you. And may you drive safe and go home safe.
Okay. Thanks a
Our
lot.
Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Oh, lead us not to temptation, and deliver us from evil. And the Lord be with you forever. May your life be long. You have done already win the case. I don't see it.
Thank you.
Peace and love.
Thank you, my brother. I'm here following you, Ambassador Patches. Think you said NRP won 2 of the 3 federal seats in Nevis in 1980. Correction. There were only 2 federal seats at that time, and so NRP won the 2 of them. So the PAM-NRP coalition was made up of 3 PAM, 2 NRP, from 1980 to 1984. The Labour Party held the 4 seats. At the next federal election in 1984, or upon independence, the number of seats in Nevis were increased to 3 and to 8 on St. Kitts. NRP won 3, PAM won 6, and Labour won 2. If I said that, thanks for the correction, my dear brother. And that's what Straight Talk is all about. At 2 minutes before 10 o'clock, I'll take 2 more calls. And just remind the constituents over there in East Basseterre that constituency election, executive election, elections for the executive of constituency number 1 will be convened tomorrow at 7:30 at the Tucker Clark Primary School. And I want to implore you that you don't, I understand that someone is going around with some lists and saying if you're not on the list, don't come. Constituents, you're all welcome. You're all welcome to come to that meeting and ensure you exercise your franchise. You voted in the 2015 and 2020 elections. We'll want you to vote again in the next 2025 or 2024, whenever the next elections. So do not let anybody fool you. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
After 100 of years of slavery, the colonial domination, we are now politically free in an independent nation. To God our Father, we have finally come to, and the battle that they has won, it benefit me and you. If you only want to show your appreciation, raise your voices with me and let peace. Let's sing along. Patches, happy independence to everybody in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis and those in the diaspora. Patches, have a wonderful night. God bless.
God bless you as well. I'll take just perhaps these 2 more calls. You can, if I can guide you by the rules of brevity, I'll give you 15 seconds, caller.
Good night, Patches.
Good night, my dear.
Always getting me last.
Oh, you love that, eh? You love to be last.
Good night. I would like to say happy independence to Sir Kennedy Alphonse Simon, our first Prime Minister, and congratulations and happy independence to my present Prime Minister and his team, Dr. Timothy Harris. That is, tomorrow is the election. No worry. Go with God. God is on your side. Don't worry with the facts them in the hen house. Don't worry with them. All you do, just guard yourself. Safe drive home. I wanted to say something, but time is too short. I won't keep you too long because I want you to have a safe drive to drive home. I will say in a flight. I might have to get a helicopter for you. So,
have a good night, my dear.
Think.
Yes.
Okay. Love you very much.
Love you.
Those who live, I'll be able to say what I have to say.
Okay, my dear. Look forward to that. Yes, tomorrow. I'm so sorry. Tomorrow is the East Bastia Constituency Group executive elections or elections to elect the executive of East Bastia. And do not be distracted by those who are trying to misguide you. Make sure you come in your numbers again and show your support. And in the spirit of democracy, you elect the constituency group or executive that you feel will do proud or continue to do proud. Because some are going back up for re-elections. Karen Sadio, Alawali, and we have some new blood also being included. Keisha Nolan, Fan is going back up. She served in the executive before, Fan Charles. And then we have Charis, Cornelius, and who am I missing there? Forgive me. Chantel, as well as going up for that elections, my Street Dog family. And that's the way we're going to end it, because my time is done and I got to run, my Street Dog family. I want you to remember that for this year's Independence, 37th Independence celebration, and the theme is one that puts into focus our current disposition as it relates to COVID and that pandemic. And my Street Dog family, I can tell you, it's not an easy time, but our government is doing well in the circumstances. Our government is a strong government, as intimated by well-known economist, Dr. Everson Hull. And the 37th Independence theme, Resilience, Innovation, and Security for Independence 2020, was appropriately addressed on Sunday by Senior Pastor Adams of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And as we wind down, my Street Dog family, I want to just again play the words of Pastor Adams, who had this to say, my Street Dog family.
When God delivers, whether it be a nation or individuals or families, when God delivers completely. And God gives them more and more blessings for their faith. There is a place for God and religion in the nation. There is a place for God and religion. The best defense of a nation in times of peril is prayer and piety and humility before God. The duty and advantage of kings and peoples standing shoulder together when their safety is threatened. We have got to come together. Unity, therein lies our strength. Whether you're in government or the opposition, wherever you are, we've got to come together. For united we stand, and divided we will fall. Happy independence, everybody.
Happy independence, everyone. And good luck to Karen Sadio going up for chairperson of the East Bastia PAM Executive Group. Deputy Chair Aretha Fanmack, I wish you good luck as well. Keisha Osborne Nolan, Secretary, General Secretary. Chantel Wilkinson, Treasurer. Sharas Cornelius, Public Relations Officer. And Al-Wali Mohammed, Assistant Secretary Treasurer. And that's the team that everyone has predicted would be the best, would win, and would be the best team to guide the constituency group at this moment in time. My Straight Talk family, I want to thank God for guiding our conversation today, and as always. And again, that election, that meeting is tomorrow at 7:30 at the Tucker Clark Primary School. We trust and hope we'll see you all there. But I want to thank God, as I said, for guiding me through our discussion tonight. I want to thank you, the many callers. I want to thank you, the social media massive from all over the globe. I hate to start talking, I'll start calling the different areas I run myself in trouble. Let me say all over the globe. I want to thank you, Facebook, YouTube, and all the social media. And for those on the zizonline.com, also Sugar City FM St. Kitts. And don't forget the many listeners to ZIZ Radio FM 96.1, 96.10. Remember, you are the ones who make Straight Talk. And I want to say a big, big thank you. Until we connect on Thursday, remember, have yourselves the best of what's left of the rest of tonight, and be good to all whom you meet. And remember, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you got to believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Dog family, keep moving on. Until we connect, my Straight Dog family, bye-bye.